Are you wondering if it is time for you to sell a home? You're hearing it's the seller's market and it is crazy out there. And I am going to tell you, yes, it is. Hi, it's Lynea Carver right here with eXp Realty, located in Bonney Lake, Washington. We are just 30 minutes north of Tacoma, Washington, and 40 minutes south of Seattle, Washington. Welcome to my YouTube channel, where I talk about all things living in and around Bonney Lake, Washington. Okay, I am going to give you a couple of quick tips. So I actually am just leaving a listing appointment right now, and I wanted to share a couple of things that really make it important when you're thinking about selling your house, because I know right now a lot of people are wondering, where am I going to go? Where am I going to buy? If I have to sell high, I have to buy high. You know, if I buy now, is my house going to decrease in value in the next 2 years? I mean, and the bottom line is nobody knows what's going to happen. I have no idea. I study data, I study trends, and so I read what I think is going to happen, and that's what I tell people. But there are a few things that you can think about right now, because yes, historically this has been one of the best times to sell in the last 30 years. And it's because property values are increasing so dramatically. And they're increasing so dramatically not because we're in a bubble, but because inventory has been so low over the last year. If you watch any of my other videos, you'll see that, we started out in my area specifically in May of 2020, we were down 76% in inventory from where we were in 2019. So after a lot of shutdowns happened in 2020, a lot of people became afraid to sell their homes. So when people become afraid to sell their homes, what happens is that there's no inventory that hits the market, but buyer demand just gets high because the interest rates nationwide drop to historic lows. So you have this case of supply and demand. You have inventory down here, demand up here, because interest rates are down here, right? So inventory, interest, demand. And that's actually what caused where we're at today. Then add on top of that, the price of lumber, supply chain issues, so many different things impacted the housing market. And that's where we're at today. Now we're trying to climb our way out of it. People are becoming more and more comfortable in selling their homes. Interest rates are starting to go up a little bit, but they're still historically low. I mean, when I bought my house back in 2017, I think I got a 5.75% interest rate. When I bought my very first house back in 2010, my interest rate was something like 6.5%. So, even though interest rates right now are at about 4.25%, 4.5 maybe, that's still really low. Still super, super low. So anyway, I digress. So my point is, if you want to sell your house right now and you want to think where are you going to go? Here's a couple of ideas. Have you thought about purchasing new construction? In a lot of new construction contracts, you don't actually have to put your home on the market for, 30 to 60 days before you're actually due to close. Everyone's contract is different. Every builder is a little bit different, but that's kind of like a general guideline. So if you're thinking about selling your house and you don't know where to go, I mean, new construction is a really good option. Now, the thing is, yes, there's a lot of competition on new construction homes. Not saying there's not, but it's an option. Another option that a lot of people are exploring right now is land. Buy land and build your own. Now, this is also a good option because then you're on your own timeline. The downside to it is that if you do decide to build your own house, you have to find a piece of land that is not competitive. There is land out there that is really highly competitive. There's also some pieces of land that sit for a while. But then what happens is once you decide that you want to build, then you have to come up with the cost of excavating the property. You have to come up with the cost of running utilities for the property if it doesn't have it. You have to pay an architect, pay a designer. So while it is an option, it might not be an option for you. That's why there's more options. Another option that you could do is if you have enough equity in your home, which most people do, you could potentially take out a home equity line of credit and use that money for a down payment on a new home and then pay it off when you sell your house. There's some other things to think about here. And again, talk to a lender. I'm not saying it works for everybody. Some HELOCs do have you have to have it for 6 months before you can pay it off. And then also, at that point, you still have to be able to qualify for, both mortgages if you were to use that HELOC to buy a new house. So that's an option. It might not be for everybody, but it is an option. Another option is a bridge loan. So a bridge loan kind of works like a home equity loan. You have to be able to qualify for 2 mortgages, but essentially the purpose of a bridge loan is to take it from you being able to have a mortgage and then being able to bridge it over to pay for a new home. There's a lot more details to that. I can cover all those later. Another option is to sell your house and look in a lower priced area. Here in this area, a lot of people are moving further south into Thurston County. Some people are moving out into Mason County. A lot of people are moving out to like Grays Harbor County, living closer to the ocean. But there is also a massive amount of people that are actually moving out of state. And that's an option for some people. People are going to places like Idaho, Arizona, Texas, Florida. Those are all really, really popular places right now. And the cool thing is all of those places I actually have connections to. So, if that's an option for you, let me know. I can absolutely connect you with the right person who's going to help you find that home. Okay, so another option to think about is renting for a while. Some people want to rent for a bit. Some people just really, really, really want to capitalize on their home, on the sale of their home, but then also may want to like kind of wait out the market for a little bit. Don't want to deal with the stress of having to sell and try to buy in a seller's market, because the likelihood is, your home priced right, marketed right is going to sell really fast, but you could sell it faster than you actually find a house to buy. For me, it's taking a lot of buyers a few months to find a house. So that's just kind of one thing to think about. Like if you want to sell and capitalize on the market, maybe it's an option to rent for a bit. There could be, programs out there like rent to own where you could do, like I have a rent to own program where you can actually rent a house and then pay it off, or you can buy it directly from them within 1 to 5 years, depending on what you agree you want to do. So that could be an option for you that, you rent it and then when you sell your house, you just use the proceeds to buy the house from them at the time. That's an option. Or just rent altogether and then buy a new house when the time comes. Some places out there do offer short-term rentals, some don't. So again, may not be the option for everybody, but it's definitely an option. Another option is to do a seller rent back. It's kind of one of my favorite options. With a seller rent back, basically what that means is you as a seller could tell the buyer you want to live in their house or live in your house for, 30, 60 days after closing. It happens a lot in this market, and some buyers don't want that to happen and some buyers do. And, that's, again, it's an option. It might not be an option for everybody, but it's definitely an option. Another option is to work out an extended closing where you tell your buyers, hey, you can buy this house, but we don't even want you to close for another 60 days. Some buyers do like that a little bit better because they're guaranteed to be into a house, and then there's no risk or liability on them for you actually staying in the house after they move out. That's an option. And the final option, that is not my favorite option because this market is it's not conducive for this kind of offer, but there is always an option of writing what we call a contingent offer. Now, you can write a purchase, or you can write an offer to purchase a home based on the contingency that you are going to sell your home first. Yeah, it really depends if this strategy will work in this particular market. Here in the Bonney Lake market, we're not seeing contingent offers being accepted as readily. Now, the exceptions to that are, if you write a contingent offer on a home that's been sitting on the market for a while, that could happen. But usually a home that's a hot home that just hit the market, that's reviewing in 4 days and has multiple offers, it's not necessarily the best option, but it is an option. So bottom line, if you're thinking about selling your house in the Bonney Lake or Lake Taps area or any of the surrounding areas like Auburn, Buckley, Sumner, Puyallup, Enumclaw, now is the time. And if you are worried about where you're gonna go, let me know how I can help. I invite you to call me. That is what I love to do. I want to help people make their plans to make that next step in their life. So don't let the fear of what could happen stop you. If you want to take advantage of your hard-earned equity, this is the time, and I can help you with that. So if you like this content or if you want to know anything more, please leave your comments below. And to make sure that you are notified anytime a new video is posted, just hit subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.